Thank you, Bill.
So we had some pre-asked questions, and I know several of you guys have a piece of paper that you submitted your questions beforehand. They're going to have first priority to ask questions, and actually I'm going to ask the first question. One of the things that I noticed, Emmitt, was when looking over your bio and looking at your real estate stuff that you have going on. You know what his real estate company's called? E. Smith Legacy. Legacy Boardroom, Legacy Family, Legacy Wealth Holdings. I got a children's book series called Little Legacy Library. Legacy is like the word that we focus on, that we hone in on. It means a lot to us. So I'm going to ask you, what does legacy mean to you? Why is it important to you? Why did you name your company E. Smith Legacy?
Well, to be honest with you, legacy to me is my family within. It's not about what I've done in the world. It's more about my family, because I am a legacy child. I am the third Emmitt, and my son is the fourth Emmitt. And my son, Emmitt the fourth, who's at Stanford right now, was born on my birthday.
Oh, cool.
Yes, and so we have celebrated birthdays for the last 18 years together. This year might be the first year we don't, because Stanford has their spring football and everything else, and he won't be able to come back home. So, who got cameras on? Are the cameras off?
Yeah, all of them are off.
All right, because I might just jump on a plane and go see him. So, now,
that's cool.
Yeah, because I want to keep that tradition going, and my family is such an important thing to me, my kids and everything that I do, because that is truly my legacy. I mean, when you've been touched by an angel, and I say touched by an angel because of what I've been able to accomplish, because there is no rhyme or reason why I did it. I mean, I had opportunities. I mean, things just happen. They don't just happen accidentally, but you can get on this path and things like that. So for me, that legacy resides within my family, because I want to impart upon them they have some level of greatness within them. But they got to find their greatness and tap into it and have passion for it. I can't give you my passion. I cannot give you my determination. I can't give you my skill set. You're going to have to find it for yourself. And so that's why I look at that as part of my legacy. Everything else I do, I look at it this way. My children and my family is God's gift to me. What I give to the world is His gift from me to the world.
I think it's I have two young kids. You obviously have all the success in the professional world, but you also have a beautiful wife. You got 5 beautiful children, all achieving at high levels, doing amazing things too. How have you instilled these principles of success and achievement and winning and humility and gratitude into them over the years?
Well, let me just say this. I'm not perfect. I'm going to be honest with you. My wife and I have a situation. But I've always tried to do what is right. Being who you are, being who I am, makes life very, very complicated. Because I have to learn what I have. They may not have it all there. And so I got to be careful not to impart so much of myself upon them. I got to allow them to find their way and learn how to be dad and be present. Because, like I said, in our world, we move so quickly. Sometimes we're not always present. Mm-hmm. And so I'm learning how to become more present in each and every one of my children's life, because the relationship that I have with my kids is extremely important to me. And if it's that important to me, I need to make the time to do the things that I need to do outside of just giving them advice or talking to them about failure or explaining to them some of the things that they can do better. Sometimes, forget it. Let's just go outside and walk. Yeah. Forget it. let's just get in the kitchen and start cooking together. Forget it. Let's just go down to the park, or let's just ride a bike. Something that makes them feel that they are connected to you.
Got a good buddy, Brian Scrone, has a quote in his book that says, the greatest indicator of your priorities is how you spend your time. Right. And so a lot of us say family's number one, it's most important, but then we neglect our family, we neglect our relationships, or we neglect our kids in order, I'm going and building this big business over here for my family. You think your kids would rather have hundreds of millions of dollars or spend time with dad cooking in the kitchen? You know,
here's one of the things. When you think about what you just said, think about their schedule. They got a 9 to 5 too. You have a 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. When they get home, you got a chance to eat together if they choose to. Because when you get teenagers, they all come in at different times, and sometimes they don't even want to. And then they also have homework. And by the time they get done with homework, it's either time to go to bed. So we don't get as much quality time with our children as much as we think we do. Mm-hmm. And so every moment has to count. And we have to create moments for things like that to happen. We got to be intentional about it.
Sure. Cool. So who's got a card with a pre-written question on it? That you guys submitted earlier. All right, perfect. Jeffrey?
Emmitt, first off, thanks for sharing all that. Really took a lot from it. I'm excited to ask you this because it's something that I'm very passionate about. It means a lot to me. So with everything you've done, you obviously know how to win and push yourself to be the very best that you can be. And I just want to know, what's your mindset around that, and how do you constantly keep that desire and that fire to always be your best in everything that you do?
I'm glad you asked that question. Dwight Thomas, you heard me mention his name earlier, they talked about all the gold stuff, but he also said to us, never become satisfied with anything. The day that you do, the growing stops. So I don't ever want to stop growing. The one thing I've seen in life is, and I hate to, and I'm just going to say what it is. When I see people retire, shortly after they retire, they decline. Mm-hmm. And I ask myself, why are they declining so rapidly? What have they lost? They lost a sense of self. They lost a sense of worth because they put most of their energy into their job for so long, and they retire. I always say retirement is overrated. Warren Buffett has proven that. He has more money than all of us combined, 3 times over. But yet he gives it all away. But yet he's up every day doing the same routine, going into the office and evaluating opportunities. His mind is constantly stimulated. And so we talked about finding those moments personally, but also you have to find the balance between the two. And I'm passionate about life. I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about my family and everything else. But you also got to find that balance.
Love that. Universal law. If you're not growing, you're dying, right? You're not ripening, you're rotting. Good stuff. Good question, Jeff. Oh, over here.
Right. On? Well, thank you, Emmitt, so much. This has been amazing. Really appreciate you coming and speaking to us. I guess my question kind of ties in and maybe follows up a little on what you were just saying, but what are some examples, I guess, of how you create harmony then with your health, relationships, business mindset, spirituality, trying to, balance is ever changing, right? But what are some tools that you use to try to keep that harmony?
That's a good question too.
Good questions, man.
I actually downloaded the app Calm. Ooh. So I use Calm to go to sleep, and I use Calm in the morning as a form of meditation. But also I read my Bible to make sure that I'm spiritually fed. And then after that, I do workouts to try to make sure that I'm physically fit for whatever it is that I'm trying to do. But taking quiet sabbaticals or having time, quiet time, period, is one of those things where you get a chance to truly decompress and to allow the silence to just calm you down, because we're so wired and things are so stimulating in our lives. Mm-hmm. We have our televisions on all the time. We have our our phones in our pockets and on the conversation. We're doing emails and everything is just stimulating. When do you have a chance to just decompress? And so carving out, sometimes my day begins at 4:30 in the morning. And the reason why, because if I have to take the kids to school, I need to make sure that I get my calm moments in, my reading moments and my bicycling moments. And then I got to get home and make sure that I get ready to take them to school and stuff like that. So, and then my work day begins. So creating those moments is one of the ways to do that. Massages.
There you go.
Chiropractic. All those things are, if you're in good shape and you feel good and making sure that you're getting all your checkups, because it's not what's outside is going to hurt you. It's what you don't see inside is really what's killing you, in my opinion. Because no one sees a heart attack coming. Hardly ever do. But you can see a car or a truck coming from a mile away and have a chance to get out the way. So taking care of yourself mentally, spiritually, as well as physically is extremely important to being able to be in the game on a consistent basis for a long period of time.
Love that. So it sounds like you're making sure that you're intentional about not only time with family, but time on yourself, right? You're blocking out time and
Got to.
ensuring that you're not commingling your time. It's good stuff. We got another one over, Jeremy.
Hey, Emmitt, thank you for coming out. It's an honor to hear you speak today. A question I have is, what are the downsides of success that nobody talks about?
Losing your anonymity. See, all of you can go anywhere in the world you want to, and not too many people going to say anything to you because some of them don't even know you. But when people know you, they will, put it this way, from an athletic standpoint and from a visibility standpoint, everybody feel that they got access to you. That's the way we make them feel. And that's part of who we are. But sometimes you want that peace and quiet that I'm talking about. You want those moments so your kids feel you, not who you are, but they want to feel daddy, or they want to feel mama. They want to feel the family aspect of it. Because my life is shared so much. You got people coming in and out of your life all the time. And so it's those kind of things that I would say are extremely important. I value those a lot more in that time with family, a lot more than anything now.
For sure. I see that. Where's the microphone?
Thank you so much for the great speech. That's very inspirational. So my question is, what was the biggest mistake that you have made, and what do you feel you've learned from it?
Oh, man. The biggest mistake I've made.
Not being a Steeler.
I didn't have any choice in that.
Yeah.
The Cowboys chose me before the Steelers can get to me. I think one of the biggest mistakes I've made, it happened probably investing too soon in some technology stuff. It was costly. And so I think that was one of my biggest mistakes. I've made a number of mistakes in my life, but at the end of the day, I'm still here. I'm picking myself up and I'm moving forward. And so mistakes come. Investments are good, investments are bad. Jerry Jones told me this one time. He said, don't fret over a deal that's lost, because there's another deal around the corner.
For sure.
And he's absolutely correct.
For sure. That's a great point. Microphone.
Thanks, Emmitt. Just wanted to ask how you, what does your business team look like now? How do you attract A players to be around you? How do you kind of weed out the noise of, I'm sure you get a lot of opportunities thrown at you.
Yeah.
You know, how's your process with sifting through opportunities?
Key people are extremely important. I have a team of about 15 people, whether it's on the construction side, whether it's on the E. Smith Legacy side, also on the E. Smith Advisory side, It's about a team of 15 men and women. Filtering process, if it does not fit within the structure or the business models that we actually have. In other words, if there isn't a construction component tied to it, or real estate is really the lead, because real estate leads to construction opportunities. If real estate is not driving this thing, and we don't have a chance to add in the advisory services to it, sometimes we might not look at it. And but then if it falls so far out of the realm, I may look at it, but I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it. And so having a team to be able to filter through things so we can get to a go or no-go decision is extremely important. A lot of analytical things I can do myself. And I learned how to do those things while I was working with the Starbucks company. So I do a lot of analytical things myself, and I do a lot of market studies myself because I like doing it. I like to know what's going on in the market. But when it comes down to making those decisions, we'll figure it out financially. We'll figure out physically and location-wise, can we get it done? And do we have the debt and the financing capabilities to pull it off? One of the things, the key elements, though, is finding the snake in the woodpile, trying to alleviate as much of the risk as possible.
Love that.
Emmitt, man, really appreciate you being a model of greatness and sharing with us. Appreciate you, Tim, bringing him here, and really do appreciate that. What changes in mindset, daily routine from college to the NFL, and then from NFL to entrepreneurship contributed to the level of success that you have obtained today? And then what do the elite of the elite do differently than other people in their habits?
Well, the changes first in mindset is making the adjustment to every level that you go to, learning systems. One of the things I found from going from college to the pros is how the speed of the game at the professional level. And I understood why. It took me a minute, but I understood why the speed was so fast and I was so slow at that time, because processing-wise, thinking-wise, understanding what to do, what not to do, played a major role in what I was looking at. You'll hear announcers talk about these young athletes when they come professional athletes. They talk about the game is so fast, it's still too fast in his mind, or the game is slowed down. When they say slowed down, that means his process has actually sped up. That's what it means. And so for me, that was one of the biggest transitions that I had to make in terms of becoming a professional athlete. I was questioning myself. How come I'm not as fast as these guys? I know I'm faster. Well, I was too busy thinking of where to go, who to block, how soon to get there, what adjustments I need to make. I wasn't playing football. I was busy trying to figure it out. But once I understood it, then the game slowed down tremendously. Then I could play football. That's when your talents start to shine. That's when you really are starting to have fun, because you know what to do. Now, there was a second part to your question. What was the second part? Give me the second part.
About the habits?
The habits, the habits of successful athletes. Well, successful athletes, we create scenarios in our minds that challenges us. I'm going to challenge myself because I want to be the first one in the gym. And why do I want to be the first one in the gym? And being the first one in the gym, meaning 5 o'clock a.m. Two things happen at 5 o'clock in the morning. Everyone else is asleep. I'm the first one in, and I get isolated one-on-one time with my strength coach. And not only that, but I'm done by 9. So if I'm done by 9, I have the rest of the day to myself. A couple things happen too. As you start to work out at 5 in the morning and you on the backside and the other players are coming in, they're like, dude, how long you been here? I've been here since 5. They're like, why? I need to get it done. They start thinking about it, and all of a sudden, 2 days later, you start seeing other folks coming in just a little bit early. Just a little bit early because they want to get a piece of that. And then all of a sudden, you come to realize the impact of working out at 5 in the morning. I got to get up at 4, be there by 5, and I'm going to bed by 8 or 9. That means I'm not in the street till 11 or 12. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm focused on what I need to be focused on. Also, I'm trying to develop a mental edge over my opponents because I know some of them are not getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So mentally, I feel like I've done what I needed to do to prepare myself, and I'm going to challenge my body to do things that I normally would not do. I would change up my routine so I don't get so stagnant in the same rut. And some great athletes think completely different. We challenge ourselves in so many different ways.
Dude, I think you said something wildly profound there in that the question was about, what do elite performers do? And you said, hey, here's some things they do, but also here's a lot of the things that they don't do, right? They're not out in the streets. I think success is one of those things where you have to, there's certain things you should do and you have to do in order to be successful, but there's also a lot of things you got to eliminate, all the negative stuff, all the garbage. And I think when you eliminate that negative stuff, just by osmosis, the good stuff ends up filling that hole, that ends up filling that gap. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, some of the great ones, they know what they don't want more than anything else.
Yeah.
They don't want to be a failure. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jordan, he pushed himself to a whole nother level of competitive spirit. And he challenged every man on that court to meet his standard. And he was not afraid to back down to anyone. Period. He's the greatest basketball player that ever played. And you playing with that, and you have to ask yourself, okay, how do I become like that? I got to get close to it. You can't shy away from it. You shy away from it, now he's going to try to get you, because at the end of the day, he's trying to figure out who's tough enough to withstand this kind of pressure. Jimmy Johnson would say this, the asthma field is over there. Fatigue make cowards out of all of us. I want to know who I can count on in the third, fourth quarter when the games start to get tough. And you're looking for those guys and women who are mentally tough that can persevere through hard times and not going to quit.
Love that. Love the question, love the answer.